Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
First, as we come on the air here, let's take a look at a big rig that has rolled over. We first told you about this as breaking news at 5 o'clock. We're still following it. You can still see that big rig there on its side. Emergency crews there on the scene.
Yeah, it's a tanker truck. We're still working to get details of exactly what happened. We know this is near 1604 and I-10. We are also hearing reports that there may be a second jackknifed semi in the area, leading to the big backups. Again, this is 1604 I-10 Graytown area. We're going to continue to monitor the situation.
After a long wait for its full return, it has now come and gone. Fiesta 2022 is a wrap, but the events will have a long-lasting impact.
RJ Marquez tells us how the Party with a Purpose is benefiting some local nonprofits and how the new parade route meant big business for some.
The party is over, but the impact of this year's fiesta will be felt for some time. For many local nonprofits like the King William Association, the city's Party with a Purpose serves as the organization's main fundraiser.
Funding for the fair is basically about 90 to 95% of the association annual budget.
The King William Fair returns Saturday in a big way after 2 years of uncertainty.
Gross sales were higher than in the previous 2 years,
with proceeds going directly back to the community and cultural arts programs.
We have a grant program that we do in the summer for area neighborhood organizations. We give a lot to various organizations at both of our schools.
The Taste of New Orleans also returned. Organizers with the Zulu Association told us the 3-day event benefits the Zulu College Scholarship Program and Donate Life.
And Fiesta being back in full force didn't just benefit local nonprofits. Many local businesses also saw an uptick in customers, like Molina's right here on Brooklyn Avenue. They actually opened up an outdoor seating and eating area and had vendors for the first time ever so that people could get a front row seat to both parades.
It was kind of like a little marketplace in here. We had music and food.
It was a great experience having the parade go through here.
The setup was so successful, the owners of Molina's are getting requests for next year.
They actually already reserved for next year, so it was good.
A successful fiesta in the books, not only for hundreds of thousands of San Antonians, but for many nonprofit organizations and businesses.
Saw lots of people seeing friends for the first time in a couple years. The mood was just generally happy and upbeat.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Can't believe it's over. Now, if you want to relive or rewatch all the Fiesta fun, you can. Right now online, you can watch our parade coverage along with dozens of other Fiesta events. You can find all that at ksat.com/Fiesta.
A search warrant miscue at a West Side home where a Bexar County Sheriff's deputy was shot and a suspect was killed last week. BCSO officials confirming to our defenders today that a warrant to search the property where 18-year-old Robert Inocencio died contained the name of a suspect in an unrelated road rage shooting case. The family provided a copy of that warrant after Inocencio's death. The sheriff's officials telling us today that a clerical error has been corrected and that the deputy who was shot can be seen on body camera footage holding that arrest warrant paperwork for Inocencio. But an investigator associated with the case used the name Edwin Albino on the search warrant. He was accused of a road rage incident last year and has no apparent ties to the property where Inocencio died. Inocencio's attorney today called the error, quote, pure negligence on the part of BCSO.
We are still following that huge fire at Joint Base San Antonio Camp Bullis from over the weekend. Now, at last check, that fire is 70% contained with more than 3,000 acres burned. While fire crews are working to put that out, some people living nearby feel like they're in the dark. At 5 o'clock, we told you how they believe there's been a lack of communication during this emergency. Erica Hernandez explains why they say their frustration is not related to just this.
The Kissling family is one of several residents that lives here near Camp Bullis. Now, the Kissling family lives on more than 300 acres, and as you see, their home, their property, all in danger over the weekend, and it's been something they had to deal with before.
It's frustrating. Not that it happened 1, 2, 3 times. This is probably the 4th large fire that they've had. And they really need to review their protocols.
James Kissling says over the years, brush fires have popped up at JBSA Camp Bullis. While they understand training has to happen, they feel there is no concern for nearby homes as trainings and controlled burns have taken place during red flag warning days or during a drought.
What precautions do they have in place so that we no longer have these large fires. And really, out of all of them, this was the largest one.
This latest fire burned 3,000 acres, and as of yet, no cause of fire has been determined. We reached out to JBSA Camp Bullis over email for comment about the concerns residents have, but have yet to hear back. Kissling did say his property is open for government officials to come out to and see just how close they are and what they are dealing with. He said the goal is for them to all be better neighbors. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
You know, the wind, the dry conditions, none of that is helping. At least there's some humidity out there.
And that's the key for today in helping to fight those fires and mitigate the spread of any fire is the humidity. It's back. I mean, dew point of 67 degrees, so that boosts the relative humidity. And you notice it. You feel the mugginess outside. Take a look at these dew points right now. For the most part, well into the 60s, so you feel it. Feels spring-like, feels sticky outside and muggy, and that's a good thing when it comes to preventing fires from spreading rapidly or even developing. There will be a change, though. Tomorrow's still going to be humid, which does bring another shot at some showers and storms, but Wednesday becoming very dry and windy, a big drop in that humidity, drop in those dew points, so that's when we could have more fire danger in terms of fires igniting easily and then spreading rapidly. But it's short-lived. Return flow brings back that humidity pretty quickly. We'll be back to talk about that next chance of storms in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Of course, we did get some rain last night. A man actually passed away after he was swept away by rainwaters overnight. He has since been identified as 44-year-old Ramon de la Cerda Jr. That's according to the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office. Our Katrina Weber tells us what led to this man being discovered in a drainage ditch.
A bridge was no shelter from the rain. San Antonio police say a 44-year-old man who tried to make his home beneath it became a victim of the bad weather. They began searching the area near Highway 281 and Bitters Road after 11:30 last night. Officers were told a man was swept away from a homeless encampment, then carried off into this ditch by fast-moving water. While this may not look like much now, you can tell from the water markings that the water here got quite deep. And you can tell the current was strong just by all the debris here. There's everything from shopping carts to bicycle parts to leveled greenery. When officers on the ground came up empty-handed, they had to rely on their helicopter for help. They say that is how they spotted the man in the water closer to Wurzbach Parkway. But even CPR couldn't save him. The job of trying to find his next of kin was left to the medical examiner. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Jaw-dropping disbelief. That is the reaction from a lot of people who saw some huge increases to their property values. And the Bear Appraisal District is fully expecting a lot of appeals. Now, the district sets the values according to what homes are selling for in your neighborhood. If you disagree with their estimate, you can protest. The first step is to file your notice of appeal. That's on the back of your appraisal notice. Now, you can also do this online. But if you check the red box on the back of that form, you'll receive the evidence that was used to set your value. Next, you'll schedule your informal meeting, and that's where you can present your evidence.
So pictures or estimates for repairs, the fact that most of your neighbors are, have remodeled and you haven't, and you've been in your home 25 years, that's compelling information.
Most protests are settled at that point, but if you aren't satisfied, you can still appeal to the Appraisal Review Board. By the way, the entire process can be done online. If you plan to protest, you have until May 16th to file that notice.
It's quite an opportunity. Edison High School students looking to start a career as an EMT getting a leg up. Today, students surprised with a new mock ambulance. It's the same layout, has the same equipment as a real ambulance, but instead of real people, students will work with a programmable electronic sim man. It's also equipped with cameras and screens so instructors can watch the training play out in real time. Students say it's the exact hands-on training they're looking for.
It's really helpful for us because having an ambulance in here, we get to see how small the space we're working with, because it's really small compared to in a big hospital emergency room, and knowing that we're first on scene to get everything done before we take them to the hospital.
Edison EMS. To be part of the EMT program, students must be seniors and pass their prerequisites. From there, if they pass their state certification, they could start their EMT career.
All right, it is back this weekend. Overnight camping is allowed and on a Easter weekend. The move comes after that was banned for 2 years as a safety precaution because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The city's Parks and Recreation Department making the announcement today. The curfew will be lifted at 9 city parks. That includes Brackenridge, Woodlawn, and McAllister, to name a few. The curfew lifts at 11 p.m. on Thursday and then resumes Sunday at 11 p.m. Now, for a complete list of all the parks and the rules of what is allowed, check that out at KSAT.com.
You know, we all hate seeing unexpected road closures, which is why our traffic team wants to keep you informed. The closures you need to know for the month of April.
And next, we take a look at how your child's asthma could be impacted by seasonal allergies.
And before we go to break, want to show you an update on the situation at I-10 Loop 1604 in the Graytown area. You can see traffic is still not really backed up. It's non-existent. They are not letting traffic on where this accident, a tanker truck, is being righted and hopefully taken out of the way. We'll continue to monitor the situation throughout this newscast.
If you are wheezing and sneezing, it's easy to blame the oak pollen covering South Texas right now. But for some people, you add an asthma to your allergies, and that can be life-threatening.
Ursula Perry with how complicated it can be to treat, especially for children suffering from this double whammy.
I'm able to do cartwheels, splits, back bends.
Amna is finally able to get the air she needs. That's amazing because since she was 1 month old, she had trouble breathing.
It was terrifying. I thought my baby was going to die. As she got older, they were trying different injections, different medications. She was on 5 inhalers.
Anya was also allergic to dust, grass, pollen, dander, and pets.
You name it, she was allergic to it.
She used to be hospitalized almost once a month. Last year, the Westbrooks, though, were referred to Pop-Up, the Pulmonary and Allergy Personalized Asthma Clinic. Pediatric pulmonologists and allergists working together to wean Amna off of a high volume of steroids.
We came up with a strategy where we were using a combination inhaler that we used several times a day initially to get her under control.
When we did our most recent virtual visit with her, she was actually on a bouncy ball, hopping up and down on the bouncy ball throughout the visit.
Her doctors also are teaching behavioral changes, steps that she can take first before grabbing that inhaler.
I take deep breaths. I do that a couple times and it helps.
She can be a child, you know, and live a normal life.
Anya's doctors also worked with the family to make lifestyle changes and also to help her to recognize those things that trigger her allergies and asthma. As for simple things you can do, close your doors and windows to pollen and try and get enough sleep so that your immune system is boosted. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
So you know what? It's not just kids dealing with those seasonal allergies. I'm Stefania Jimenez. Coming up on the Night Beat, they're also a struggle for people living with another health issue, and that's COVID. What one allergist says she's seeing in her patients. Also, we continue to follow the latest on last week's deadly standoff in Bexar County. You just heard about the problem in the warrant paperwork. Well, tonight, we're going to hear from that suspect's family and the questions they're now raising. Those stories and so much more tonight on The Night Beat.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Stephanie. Well, congratulations in order for Haley, Cole, and Austin, who are the overall winners for the Bernie ISD German Spelling Bee. This competition, like many other things, was on a 2-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But students and staff say they were glad to be back and glad to be able to award the winners who worked so hard. Congratulations. I looked up how to say thank you in German, and I don't even want to begin to pronounce it, so, you know.
I know, spelling bee in general is impressive, but German spelling bee?
It's a Bernie tradition.
There you go, and it's back.
Yeah.
Like so many things.
Like Fiesta was back,
Yeah.
and it was just like, just picked right up where we left off. It was good.
Yeah.
And I think there's even more energy for it, too. And now it just feels kind of dull around
I know, it is
here.
sort of like the post-Fiesta Monday letdown.
See, I kind of am
Embracing
Fine with
it.
things getting back to normal.
Some people embrace it. Okay, Fiesta's over.
I love Fiesta. Don't get me wrong. I'm just okay. Now let's get back to normal.
I get it. It kind of feels like the weather knew Fiesta was over.
Yeah.
It got a little gloomy today.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, and we started off very gray. We had a few storms last night, moved through the north side of town, dumping over an inch in Chavano Park, for example, and almost a quarter of an inch at the airport officially in town. As for rain chances, tomorrow morning and afternoon, about a 30% chance. Wednesday, just in the morning, down to 20%. And then by the weekend, we're up to 20% on Saturday. So nothing spectacular, but at least the chances are not 0%. So let's get right to it. And we don't really have much out there to speak of right now. Just a few little sprinkles could be falling from the clouds, especially on the east side of town, but really insignificant. And I don't even think you'd need your windshield wipers. And you take a look at the clouds, they cleared out throughout the day for most of us, basically along and west of Highway 281. But they're starting to take back over again, and they will this evening, and then just create more nuisance moisture. A little bit of drizzle, a few sprinkles overnight tonight and first thing tomorrow, but nothing really appreciable until later in the morning. That's when we could actually have a few thunderstorms. So here's our future cast. And you see the low gray clouds just filling back in overnight. 6 a.m. tomorrow, some patchy drizzle, maybe a little sprinkle here and there. The nuisance dampness that doesn't really contribute and do us any good. But then by later on in the morning, we're talking 9, 10 a.m., we could actually have a few thunderstorms pop up here and there, isolated in nature. So the coverage should be very limited. Nonetheless, we could at least have a few downpours in some select lucky areas. And don't pay too close attention to the exact placement of what you see here on the Futurecast. Then by the afternoon, after some sunshine, more destabilization, wouldn't surprise us if a few more storms popped up. This is 5, 6 p.m. on our Futurecast here. So there is the chance even of severe thunderstorms, particularly tomorrow afternoon. You see this brightest color pink. That puts you in the isolated severe storm category. But you go up I-35, as has been the case so often this spring. You get closer to Waco, Dallas, and that's where they have the more numerous severe weather threat, where it's likely to be a bigger outbreak, whereas here it'd just be 1 or 2 hit or miss. 79. That's our temperature right now, but the dew point of 67, so a relative humidity of 66%. Look at the temperature difference. Underneath the clouds most of the day, New Braunfels 79, 79 in San Antonio, but 93 Eagle Pass, 96 in Del Rio, Cotulla at 92 degrees. Big difference. Obviously, if you see more sunshine, your temperature is going to be even higher, and that's what we're seeing west of town, Uvalde now at 87. Tomorrow morning, pretty straightforward. Right near 70 degrees. You'll notice the humidity. Tomorrow afternoon, with that sunshine, we'll get into the 90s. And the warmer we get, the higher our opportunity is, or better the chance that we could have a few more of those pop-up storms. Sabinal, Uvalde, about 100 degrees. Even west along the Rio Grande, right near 100 tomorrow afternoon. So there's that 30% chance through the morning of an actual thunderstorm. Otherwise, just some drizzle and sprinkles. Then we get into the midday, we clear out, have a lot of sunshine, get up into the 90s for a high temperature, and we see that 30% chance again by the afternoon. Wednesday, that's when we could have the really fire danger, where fires can develop quickly and then spread rapidly because of windy and dry conditions, mid-90s. Thursday and Friday, humidity's back, will be well into the 80s, and this weekend, just a 20% chance on Sunday. Otherwise, warm and humid at 92 Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, warm week ahead. Thanks, Adam.
All right, Spurs have played great on the road. They're hoping for an extensive road trip now that we're in the play-in games, Greg.
That's including play-in and play-off if they're successful in the play-in tournament. When we come back, why they're packing for 4 games, not 1, and why the Masters champion cried like a baby before the final round. Coming up. Now that the regular season is over, the Spurs have a chance to make the playoffs by participating in their second straight play-in tournament. Last year, they lost to Memphis to keep them out of the postseason. This year, they have to get by the Pelicans in New Orleans on Wednesday in order to play in the second round. Spurs have beaten the Pelicans 3 out of 4 times this season, including 2 wins in New Orleans on February the 12th, 124-114, and again on March the 26th, 107-103. That was to avenge their only loss to the Pelicans on March 18 in a blowout in San Antonio, 124-91. Now after losing to the Mavs and Dallas 130-120 to wrap up the regular season in the 10th play-in position. The Spurs going into this must-win showdown in New Orleans on a 3-game losing streak.
You got to give it your all from the first guy to the last guy, and you know it's going to be a dog fight. We on the road, so we against New Orleans and just their whole fan base. So just be excited, ready, go have fun. That's what it's really about. There's a lot of teams going home today and starting their summer and off season. So be thankful for that. Obviously it wasn't a season we wanted as far as record wise. I feel like we're way better than what we are. But on the bright side, we still alive and we got a chance to make the playoffs.
We're packing for 4 games. Yeah. 4 games. I think we packing in for 2 play-ins and 2 playoff games. So we packing, everybody on the team's packing for 4 games, and we're going to come there ready to play.
I like that attitude. So the play-in game number 1 will be Wednesday. Note the late tip time, 8:30 in New Orleans. The hottest golfer on the PGA Tour this year, the #1 ranked golfer in the world. And on top of that, a former Texas Longhorn is your new Masters champion. Say hello to Scottie Scheffler, who went into Sunday's final round with a 3-stroke lead and managed to make his mark early with his incredible bump and run on the 3rd hole, pulling up by 5 strokes over Cameron Smith after Smith bogeyed. Smith would gain confidence. He was able to sink this incredible birdie at 11 to draw him back within 3 strokes of the leader, but then came the 12. Smith put his tee shot into the water, and it was disaster after that. He would triple bogey the hole, drop 8 back. The only true challenger then at that time was Rory McIlroy. He was having the round of his life, finished off with his incredible 18th. After going bunker to bunker, McIlroy would blast out and sink this birdie to finish with a final round of 64. What a approach, and what a blast out of the sand. That would put him squarely in 2nd. The pressure of the day finally got to Scheffler on 18, where he double bogeys but still wins by 3 strokes with the 10 under 278. As he enjoyed his walk with his wife Meredith, he gets to put on his first green jacket, but Scheffler admits it was a tough morning before he got to the Augusta National Course.
I cried like a baby this morning. I was so stressed out. I didn't know what to do. I was sitting there. I was telling Meredith, I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this. I'm not ready. I don't feel like I'm ready for this kind of stuff. And I just felt overwhelmed. And so she told me, who are you to say that you're not ready?
And what might be equally amazing is that Tiger Woods completed his comeback to God by playing the entire 72 holes of the Masters. What made it so amazing is that it was only just over a year since that car accident that almost cost him his right leg. Playing with a noticeable limp, Woods made the cut and wound up scoring the 13 over 301, the worst finish of his professional career, and he could care less.
It's been a tough road, and one that I'm very thankful to have had the opportunity to be able to grind through it. A lot of different things could have happened, but 14 months I'm able to tee it up and play the Masters.
And with that, Tiger's already committed to play in the Open at St. Andrews this July. That right there is just the fact you completed the thing is amazing to me.
He made the cut.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg.
Our KSAT Q&A is up next. It is a problem that San Antonio and Bexar County continue to struggle with: child abuse. We have incredible numbers of cases right here in our community, and there is a campaign underway this month to try to raise awareness, but also prevention at the same time. We're going to talk about that here with Randy McGibney, the Chief Operations Officer with Child Safe. That's an organization that provides services to kids who have been victims of abuse or who have witnessed violence. Randy, thank you so much for being here. I love what Child Safe does. We all do. Let's talk first about the problem. We know that we cover it here all the time, these horrific cases of child abuse. Do you think that there is a unique set of challenges that San Antonio faces when trying to combat this problem?
Yeah, I think, in San Antonio, we have a long history of underage teen pregnancies that happen in our community. We have a long history of domestic violence. We have a high rate of domestic violence inside of our community. We have a high poverty level inside of our community. And we have a high issue of substance abuse inside of our community. And all these kind of create this perfect environment for child abuse to happen inside of the San Antonio and surrounding areas.
You talk about the cardboard kids. I know you have a couple of them behind you. I mean, they're cute, they're decorated very well, but they also send a message to everybody out there that hopefully sees these things around our community.
Yeah, so we started Cardboard Kids about 8 years ago. In the first year, The idea was really to try to raise awareness about child abuse. It coincides with Child Abuse Prevention Month. And then in year 2, we got a large sponsorship from Valero Energy, and they have been our sponsor for Cardboard Kids for the past 7 years. And what that really has allowed us to do, in the first year, we gave out about 6,500. And every year since Valero has been on board with us, we've been able to give out anywhere from 80 to 100,000 Cardboard Kids at no cost to the community. And so not only does really 2 things for us. One, the first thing that it does is it allows us to reach a broad network inside of the community of people and raise awareness about this issue. But secondly, and this is what I love about Cardboard Kids the most, is that it provides an opportunity for caregivers and teachers and anybody who's actually doing this artwork with young children to teach them about body safety and about saying no, and really talk to them about what child abuse is. Because children don't realize that they're being abused until after the fact, and then they tell somebody. So having an opportunity to make this a primary prevention program, as well as in a community awareness program, I think makes this project really, really unique.
I love the prevention angle of that as well. You know, I think you told us there have been some 600,000 of these Cardboard Kids distributed since this campaign began a couple of years ago. And the idea is, of course, raising awareness. Would you have any advice for people on signs of abuse to look for? Because so often people are afraid to assume. They don't want to get it wrong. Yeah. But reporting something is often the first step. So what should you look for, and then what should you do with that information?
That's a great question, Myra. You know, we have a saying around here when it comes to Cardboard Kids: if you see something, say something. I think in our community we all have an obligation to protect our biggest asset, which is our children of the future, right? So certain signs that you can possibly look for in young children. If they're out at an event, or they're at school, or they're an after-school program, they're at soccer or something like that, and they linger. They don't necessarily want to go home. They want to stay there and be at the event a little bit longer. That's a sign that you can look for. From a physical standpoint, some of the things that you can look for is some pattern bruising or some burn marks, or just making up various excuses for injuries that they've had and continual injuries that they have over their bodies. From a behavioral standpoint, we oftentimes see a lot of hypervigilance in young children who've been victims of abuse, particularly the young children. They don't have any way of really expressing what they're feeling, and so you'll see them act out behaviorally. You might have a young kiddo who's been doing really, really well in school, or even an adolescent who's doing really, really well in school, and then all of a sudden there's a massive dip in their school numbers. I would get involved and actively find out what's happening in that young child's life.
A lot of people obviously talking about an epidemic that we're seeing in San Antonio when it comes to child abuse. What does Child Safe do? Like what you do besides Cardboard Kids, some of the services that you provide? And is there a percentage, as far as the kids that you help, who reached out to somebody and hope that maybe somebody would have listened to them earlier?
Yeah, so in regards to the second question, what we've seen a lot with what also makes the Cardboard Kids really cool is there's an opportunity for young children when they're actually doing this and they realize, oh my gosh, this is something bad that is actually happening to me and I need to tell somebody, right? Oftentimes when it comes to children who have been victims of child sexual abuse, it takes them roughly 2 to 3 years to even make that outcry, to find that courage and to come forward. And so that's why it's even more important that when a child makes an outcry to you, that we hear something and we actually do something about it. As far as our services here at Child Safe, the main service that we provide is that when you make a call up to statewide intake at CPS and report a case of child abuse, they're required by state law to notify law enforcement. We're a Children's Advocacy Center, and our function is to bring together a multidisciplinary team of partners like SAPD, Bexar County Sheriff's Office, Children's Hospital of San Antonio, the District Attorney's Office, and Child Protective Services, so that we can interview those children inside of our facility here at Child Safe in a child-friendly environment. So they don't have to go down to CPS and be interviewed. They don't have to go down to law enforcement to be interviewed. And it minimizes the number of times that child actually has to tell that story. If the child makes an outcry during that interview process, we'll offer some secondary and tertiary services, such as our clinical counseling services inside the agency and family advocacy services. When child abuse happens in a home, oftentimes there's 2 investigations that are happening, and a lot of people don't understand that. There's a civil investigation that's going on with CPS to ensure the safety of the child, but there's also a criminal investigation going on to see if there's been any criminal intent where a child has been injured or sexually assaulted, where there may be a perpetrator who's locked up. And so we provide advocates who kind of help them through and navigate both legal sides.
Randy, cardboard kids, that's something anybody can display, homes, businesses, schools, anywhere. If someone wants one of these, how can they go about getting one?
So our big reveal day was on April 7th, which was the last Thursday. And the idea behind that was after you decorated them, we are asking the community to do hashtag Cardboard Kids SA so that it creates this kind of social network movement. But if people are still interested in participating, even after the fact, if they give us a call, we have several of them here at the organization. We'd be more than happy to set up a time for them to come down and pick as many of those up as they'd like.
Randy McGivney, Chief Operations Officer of Child Safe. Thank you again for what you do and the people who work with you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us on tonight.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time. We'll be right back. Several road closures are expected overnight. Our Stephen Cavazos breaks down what you need to watch out for, plus some other TxDOT closures happening throughout the month.
If you are an overnight or early morning commuter, make sure to plan your commute ahead of time. According to TxDOT, there will be several closures taking place this week. Let's go ahead and start here off of US 281 on the north side of San Antonio. Drivers, you can expect some signage installation and lane striping to take place. This is current and will wrap up on Thursday, April 14th. Keep in mind, this is overnight from 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning. What you can expect there is an alternating northbound main lane closure at Loop 1604 to Stone Oak Parkway. So again, watch out over there. Let's go ahead and head over to Loop 410 on the west side of San Antonio. Some bridge work has been current and is expected to wrap on Monday, April 18th. This is again overnight, 8 in the evening to 5 in the morning. Drivers there, what you can expect is an alternating main lane closure in both directions from Marbach Road to Ingram Road. One last drive over here off Loop 1604 on the northwest side. Bridge construction has been current and will wrap on Friday, April 22nd. Again, overnight, 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning. Drivers there can expect a full closure of the Kyle Seal Parkway at Loop 1604 intersection, including the turnarounds. So bring out those phones and scan this QR code. That will give you a full list of the closures that are in your area and, of course, have the very latest on your commute. Guys, back to you.
In the buzz today, Chris Rock is coming to San Antonio. The comedian has extended his Ego Death World Tour in the weeks following that Will Smith slap. His show on November 10th at the Majestic Theater. Now, Rock announced his comedy tour a month before the onstage Oscars incident.
It's his first tour in 5 years. Rock's first show in Boston, where he decided to not talk about the slap, but said he plans to at a later date. Tickets for the San Antonio show go on sale this Wednesday. It has been a hot ticket.
Yes.
By the way, parents can now submit photos of their smiling infants in Gerber's 2022 photo search. Not Tim Gerber, the baby formula
product
stuff. Yeah, the winner will earn the title of Spokesbaby and Chief Growing Officer. They will be featured on baby food companies' social media channels and in its ad campaigns throughout the year. They will also get a $25,000 prize.
Now I'm just imagining Tim Gerber's face on one of these cute little cans.
Yeah.
Okay, for the first time this year, Gerber will match the prize with a $25,000 donation to the March of Dimes maternal and infant health programs. All right, you might have missed this news over the weekend, but Bennifer is engaged again. Also known as Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck. The couple first called off their engagement back in 2004. Lopez shared a video through her newsletter that shows off a green engagement ring. Lopez and Affleck met back in 2001 on the movie set of Jiggly.
Yeah, the two reunited romantically in 2021. This will be the fourth marriage for the 52-year-old Lopez, the second for the 49-year-old Affleck. All right, today is the perfect time to give your dog or cat some extra love, maybe a fish. It's National Pet Day. Animal welfare advocate Colleen Page founded the National Day of Recognition for our furry friends back in 2005. While loving our pets is something we do every day, The observance also encourages animal adoption. Pet advocates say it's a good time to sort through your animal's toys, throw away ones that are no longer safe.
Also a good day to make sure your pet's vaccinations are up to date.
National Pet Day. I'm curious, or Adam Caskey comes down on National Pet Day, if he's okay with that.
Take it away.
Whatever. I mean, just so be it. There's always some national day, and they don't make sense usually.
Finn, Coda, don't listen to him.
Yeah, Finn and Coda.
We appreciate you.
I still love pets, don't get me wrong. Do they deserve a day? What do we do with that day? Who knows? You still love them no matter what.
You transition to your forecast using them.
Yes, and we do have another shot at rain. Then windy and dry on Wednesday. That's when we'll have the elevated fire spreading danger for wildfires. 90s are back, and they're really dominating the 7-day forecast. So let's get right to it, starting with the rainfall, of course, and really our need for the rain, not just because of our drought conditions, but you look at the aquifer levels since January 1st, and it's just been on a steady decline, really, once we got into late February all the way through now. And it wouldn't surprise me if we get into stage 2 watering restrictions for SAWS customers very soon. That possibility exists. All right, here's the big picture. And the severe weather outbreak, parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas right now, they've had some pretty big hail that have fallen in some of those storms. So that's where the activity is at the moment. Nothing around here, just maybe a sprinkle or two underneath the thicker clouds. But most of the real good moisture and rain is far to the east of us, the eastern third of the country, and even in the Pacific Northwest. And most of it's going to stay to the north of us, but we do have at least a shot at a few storms and some moisture into tomorrow. Here's our future cast. Clouds fill back in tonight. A little drizzle, sprinkle activity, not a big deal, just that nuisance moisture. But as we progress through the morning tomorrow, a few storms could actually develop. And, this computer model is showing a storm developing southeastern Bexar County, northern Atascosa County. Don't really be confident in the exact placement being accurate. Usually it's not. Just the fact that it's showing the potential of something developing into the late morning hours. Then we'll have sunshine, followed by another opportunity as we get into Tuesday afternoon and early evening. A few random pop-up storms could develop. And if they do, by the afternoon, they could become strong to severe. And hail, I think, would be the primary threat. So later in the day, it could even come at a bit of a cost. The rainfall could come at a bit of a cost. Dew points are back up. Look at these numbers, well into the 60s. Port SA 66, New Braunfels, a dew point of 68. Feeling that stickiness, the mugginess back in the air. It does change by Wednesday. Wednesday, about the noon hours, when we should have a dry wind kick in and the humidity just falls off in a gusty day. That's why we have that and basically enhanced fire danger for the start and even spread of any wildfires. But then the humidity's back really quickly as we go through Thursday, then Friday through the weekend. You'll notice that mugginess. One thing you notice today, looking at temperatures, big difference out there. Del Rio 96, meanwhile 79 New Braunfels and San Antonio, 79 Beeville and Victoria. That's where we've had the clouds holding tight for a good portion of the day, whereas closer to the Rio Grande, a lot of sunshine, and that boosted temperatures well into the 90s for folks closer to the Rio Grande. 84 Stinson now, 77 Boerne area, and Bulverde now 78. Tomorrow morning, right near 70, pretty straightforward, humid, some drizzle, and again, slight chance of a storm. And then we get into the afternoon with some sunshine. We're getting into the 90s again, and even closer to 100 farther west of San Antonio and closer to the Rio Grande. 30% chance of a storm in the morning, another 30% by the afternoon. Wednesday morning, maybe a brief shower, otherwise mid-90s. And then this weekend, we're back in the 90s.
All right, thank you, Adam.
In case you missed it, it's coming up next.
It is Monday. It is April 11th.
This is I-10 East at Loop 1604. You see the emergency vehicles there and the backup? This is part of the reason why you can see a tanker trailer on its side at I-10 and Greytown Road.
Right. Traffic backed up here. A lot of, it looks like some lanes of traffic have been stopped. Other lanes of traffic are just moving very slowly through this area. Again, an 18-wheeler on its side. This is at I-10 and 1604 area.
This noon, San Antonio police are still trying to figure out the location where a man was shot and why. Officers say around 4:30 this morning, a man drove himself to a hospital near the quarry after someone shot him while he was driving. Police tell us they think the victim was hit near an apartment complex just north of North Star Mall. At this time, officers do not have any suspects and no word on the victim's condition.
People who do not identify as male or female can now make it official on a form of identification. The State Department will now list X as a mark on its U.S. passports. This designation is defined as unspecified or another gender identity. This makes the Department of State the first governmental agency to make this offer on a document.
More than 1,000 taxidermy mounts of exotic animals worth more than $32 million. Now in the possession of police after they were seized from a warehouse in Valencia, Spain. Police say it's one of the largest discoveries of taxidermy animals in Europe. The seizure happened as part of a potential smuggling investigation. The animals include rhinos, polar bears, and even elephants. Even included more than 400 protected species like Bengal tigers.
That's all our time. Thanks so much for watching the news at 6.
See you back here on the Night Beat at 10.